This is the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL. Is it worth your consideration? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I borrowed this model from my friends at Mike Morgan Hyundai here in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more about this model or anything else they have in inventory at the dealership, check out the link down in the description of the video. And this being the SEL trim level, if you saw my video on the limited trim level, well, there are going to obviously be some differences here. This is a front-wheel drive model, and you won't find the ambient lighting in the interior. That's only going to be on the limited and calligraphy trim levels. But let's take a look at what you will find here. The signature look here on the front end with the H that's going to be part of your daytime running lights and the turn signals. That blinking effect, flickering effect you see right there, that's not actually happening. That has to do with my camera, in case you wanted to know. You will find LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and a very clean look. Yes, it does have a lot of boxy lines to it, but at the same time, a bit of an elegant look to it, kind of a high-end look, we'll say. And I know a lot of people say it looks like the Land Rover Defender or the Ford Flex. I haven't been able to find a Ford Flex to park it next to yet, but I'm going to try later in the video and park it next to a Defender. And obviously the Hyundai logo prominently displayed here on the hood. Tell me what you think about the overall design here. Yes, it does look boxy. It does have some very squared off lines to it, but at the same time, you'll also find that everything is designed intentionally and really flows very well together. We will find active air curtains here with the front end, obviously on both sides. And as we work our way around, I like the fact that we don't have an overload of gloss black with the trim, with the front end, with what we have around the fenders right here. It looks right for what it is. We will find the power adjustable manually folding side view mirrors. They do fold in two different ways, and the turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, they're power adjustable, and if you're curious about the remote, here we go. Let's take a look at that. We'll take advantage of the bright Louisiana sunshine today. The main thing a lot of people ask about is right here, remote start. So that is there, and we continue that boxy look with the windows. And the thing I like here is that it makes it very easy for the driver to see around them when they're driving down the road because of the height and the size of these windows. The roof rails up top, you can get the crossbars to go with that if you so desire to do so. And something that maybe we can call a little bit on the old school side, but some people still like it, and that's going to be right here. That's going to be a pinstripe. Some of you maybe so young, you're saying, what is a pinstripe? That's what that is right there. Some of you know, some of you don't. And we'll finish things off here with a very clean look, not only because of the design of the rear roof spoiler, but the lack of an exposed rear window wiper. That's going to be neatly tucked away right here in this area. See if I can give you a look at that. You can see where that is. And we have a very consistent look on the front and the rear of the vehicle. With that H, again, you can see with having the hazard lights on. The one thing I really wish Hyundai had done, and again, this is purely just my opinion on this, some people might say, I don't even notice. But the fact that you only have the singular exhaust pipe back here, or exhaust outlet, I really think that should be on both sides. It would just look more consistent that way, but I don't think anyone is going to say, I'm not buying a Santa Fe because there's only one exhaust outlet on the rear. Speaking of that, let's talk about what this model has under the hood. Under the hood of this model is the 2.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder. It makes 272 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 311 pounds-feet, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Good news for those of you who are anti-CVT. And let's take a look at the MPGs for this model. 20 miles per gallon city, 29 miles per gallon highway, 24 combined, and 4.2 gallons of gas for every 100 miles driven. And you'll find a 16-gallon gas tank. And something else that I think a lot of people are going to like is the fact that you don't have capless fuel fill. Some people seem to not care for that very much. The good thing is that you could actually replace this with a locking gas cap. That is one of the advantages to not having capless fuel fill. And tell me what you think about the design of the rims on this SEL model. Speaking of that, let's talk about tire and wheel size. The width will be 235. We're going to have a 60 series sidewall, and those rims are 18 inches. Here on the SEL trim level, you will find a power tailgate. Obviously, there's multiple ways to open that beyond just using the button that I just pushed on the tailgate itself. 14.6 up to 79.6 cubic feet of cargo capacity. The cargo cover that you have right here is obviously removable. Can you imagine how awkward that would be for your rear seat passengers in this third row to sit with that in their face? That would be interesting. And you also will find your first aid kit, also a roadside emergency kit right here, all kinds of goodies in there to help out. And something else that will definitely help is that you don't have a tire repair kit. There's a spare tire located underneath the rear of the vehicle. And I did remove that cargo cover so I can show you how everything looks with the seats in their upright position. To start with, you can see that you do have quite a bit of recline built into these rear seats. It is a 50-50 split. You'll use the release right here to lower those. Now, one thing that I like here is the fact that unlike in some vehicles, such as the Honda Pilot, it's not as important that you Velcro these releases down like this, but it does make it a little bit easier if it happens to wind up way up there. Well, it's really not way up there. It's not that terribly far away, so that helps. We'll also find a 12-volt power outlet back here. There is a light right here that can be turned on to help out with lighting in this rear area. And you don't have to go up to the middle row area and put the seats down. You can put those down yourself using the buttons right there. And there's what everything looks like as far as maxed out cargo capacity goes. And for those who may have noticed that this right side seat was sitting up a little higher than the left with these 60-40 split middle row seats, that was just because when it fell down, it kind of bounced back up just a little bit, but I pushed it all the way down. You can see that everything is lowered evenly. And we'll take a little more in-depth look into what your rear seat passengers are going to find. The armrests here, very comfortable and very large. I like that. A little bit of space with the combination door bin and bottle holder. Either can be used there. You can put a bottle there or whatever else will fit. And there are a couple of cup holders built here into the armrest. And also with the lack of piano black or gloss black, I think that's a good thing. That silver trim is going to hold up better, not going to show fingerprints. That's a good thing. And I did want to show you that you can move these middle row seats back and forth. There's a release right underneath, nothing out of the ordinary, just a little bar right there to move those back and forth quite a bit actually compared to where they are right now. And there is not only one, but two different ways to get these seats out of the way. So just push the button right there. That moves out of the way, makes it easy to gain access to the third row. Let's see how we do here. Now, with these middle row seats where they are located, I do have a lot of leg room, but I still can't stretch my legs out as much as I might like to. This is an ideal area for the kids. Can adults ride back here? Yes, they can. I do have a decent amount of headroom, but obviously the seats can come back to about right here, so that would reduce leg space. And we'll also have the control right here for the rear AC vents. As you can see, they're located right here, so just to know what's here, and a couple more cup holders. Obviously, that's going to be mirrored on the other side of the vehicle over there. That makes things a lot easier for everybody because everybody has the same thing. And to get out, it's very easy. If somebody doesn't let the rear seat passengers out, they can push that button and the seat gets up and out of the way. And for those who are saying, boy, I sure hope Tom shows us what it looks like if you put the cargo cover in place. You can see how far back that comes. So that will be useful. We'll close the power tailgate right here and take a look into the middle row area, a little bit beyond what we already have. There is the recline. These seats recline way back, so it makes it very easy for your middle row passengers to take a nap if they so desire to do so. You can find some storage here on the rear of the seats with the seat pockets, and obviously the drawer right here pretty deep, a lot of space within. Now you might notice there's no USB options. Nothing unusual for Hyundai because they're located right here within the seat backs themselves. But something else that's very interesting that I don't think I've seen it on any other vehicle, is the fact that you can open the center console from two different directions. So taking full advantage of all of the space here, you can see what's there as far as the space goes, and the front and rear passengers can take advantage of everything. Now, this particular model does not have a sunroof, and I know not everybody wants a sunroof, so that's a good thing for those of us who maybe aren't interested in having such a thing. And for those of you who are saying, okay, Tom, I really would like to buy a 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, but I don't want the limited trim level, and I definitely don't want to step all the way up to the calligraphy. How much will the SEL cost me? Here at Mike Morgan Hyundai, $38,415. Let's see what else you get for the price beyond what I've already shown you. The armrests and the door bends here for the front doors, a little bit bigger, nothing out of the ordinary. But one thing that did surprise me, with all of the other features and functionality we've seen here, you don't have a power adjustable passenger seat. Don't know that that's as big of a deal. It is adjustable. It's just manually adjustable. So tell me what your thoughts are on that. Quick look at the door panel here. Again, we have the nice silver trim. That lack of the piano black finish, I think, is good. That would be too much here. I don't think it would match very well. It works very well as far as what we have. That will flow into the rest of the interior here, and you'll see that familiar look of the H right here with the air conditioning vents really across the dash area right here. Very similar to what we saw with the area on the front and rear with the blinkers and turn signals. Also, we're going to have plenty of space within the glove box right here. And yes, you will have this special area right here where you can sanitize, well, basically whatever will fit. Whether it's a watch, a cell phone, a wallet, a pen, a pencil, one of the lug nuts off of one of the wheels. I mean, they would fit if you really wanted to sanitize those. I don't know. Unless you're a monk, you probably don't, but you never know. Connectivity options right here as well. Your wireless charging and the cup holders. Now, we did take a look at the center console from the back seat area, but one thing I like here is that it's fairly high, so it's easy to use as an armrest for the driver and the passenger. That's always useful. Here is your upper console, and you will find some piano black up there. I don't think that's a bad area for that, but there's what we have as far as everything is concerned. You can see what all is here. But we're just getting started on the front seat. Let's take a look at the main area of attraction for most of you watching this video, because that is where you're going to spend your time. And here in the driver's area, obviously you're going to find the typical controls right here for your windows and mirrors and all that good stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, yes, the passenger seat is manually adjustable. The driver's seat is power adjustable. Here are some of your other features, your power parking brake. You can also open and close your power tailgate back there, and you can drop the lever right here to adjust your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. So let's hop inside. We'll hit our push button start and take a look at what I think is a very clean and modern looking instrument cluster that flows into the very, very large and angled towards the driver. I like that driver focus that we have here with the center screen. Very easy to deal with, but I like the look of what we have here. And again, that flickering effect you see, don't worry about that. That is not actually happening. If you were sitting here in the vehicle, that would not look that way to you, just so you know. Also, your steering wheel mounted controls here. You can use the shifter paddles here to work your way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission. Let's not get that wrong and call it a 9. It's an 8. And the control here for your headlights and your blinkers right there and your front and rear window wipers. And a very simple system to use here. A lot of people are sometimes thinking that it's complicated. It may look that way, but it really isn't. Not at all. In fact, very simple to use, very easy to learn, especially if you've never had anything like this. You have quite a bit going on here. You've got your profiles you can set up for different drivers, all that kind of stuff, change your user, all that. Again, easy to use, very self-explanatory. And the shifter right here, pretty easy to deal with when you want to go into reverse. there you go. That's how you're going to do that. And you have a couple of different things you can see here as far as your views go. A very nice wide angle, and then we will actually rotate that forward to go into drive. There is park, and then you will also see that we have quite a few things here as far as one-touch buttons. You can go to your built-in navigation if you want to. We're not going to add that right now, but that's what obviously map is for. You can go home. You can see what all is here. Pretty easy to figure out. You also have your dual zone climate control and heated seats, something we don't really need right there. Not today, at least. Here is where you're going to turn off that auto stop start feature. I recommend doing that. You don't have to, but it is better for the vehicle overall. That's just the way it is. In time, you're going to hear a lot more about that. I promise. That's just the way it is. And how about your driving modes? We have Sport, as you can see right there. We can also go to My Drive. You can also use Normal. Pretty easy to deal with, pretty simple, self-explanatory, but a very clean look all the way across as far as this model goes. And just to show you what's here when you turn the vehicle off, I don't know how well this will show up in the bright sun. Hopefully you can see the animated graphics right there. You definitely could hear the music. I'm curious to know what it is people are seeing between these two models that say they look a lot alike. Unfortunately, I can't find a Ford Flex to park next to the 24 Santa Fe. That's the other vehicle a lot of people are saying that the Santa Fe looks like. Also had somebody here at the Land Rover dealership tell me that the Santa Fe and the Bronco Sport look similar to one another. What do you think? Well, let's change positions here and compare these two just for fun. And one of the very first things that jumps out to me as far as the differences go, obviously height and overall size. The Defender is a little more narrow and obviously a taller vehicle than that of the Santa Fe. And without having to say anything, the front ends do not look anything alike. Whether it's the grille design, the headlight design, the design of the turn signals. You don't have a D over here as far as your turn signals and daytime running lights go, the same way you have that H on the Santa Fe right here. And another big difference, the design of the side view mirrors. I think both look good, but they definitely don't look anything alike. Now, the one area where maybe I could say the two have some similarities as far as the exterior goes is going to be the windows, the side windows. Other than that, it's really a different situation all the way around. And really you can see the difference here. Obviously, the rear window on the 110 is smaller back here than that of the 130. However, I still don't think they look that much alike, and you definitely don't have similarities with the rear of the vehicles. Two totally different worlds. A lot of that has to do with the fact that you have the spare tire for the Santa Fe underneath the vehicle. You don't even see it, but you have it located on the rear door here of the Defender, typical Defender style, and even just functionality, even though I know it really has nothing to do with looks, the way the rear doors open, the power tailgates, lift gates, whatever you want to call on the Santa Fe, and the power rear door or the non-power rear door that you manually open on the Defender, just two totally different operating styles. Now, one thing that I do think is similar to a degree is going to be the look of the interior. And that really has more to do with the colors than anything else, because obviously you don't have the exposed screws on the Santa Fe that you have here. And something else that's even different with the Santa Fe is that it has a larger screen compared to the center screen here on the Defender. The overall layout and look of the center console is different. How many of you would, however, like to see a refrigerated console like we have here on the Defender on the Santa Fe? And a question that I'm curious to receive your response on: which interior has the more modern look to it? I mean, both do, but do you think one looks more modern than the other when comparing the Santa Fe to the Defender? One thing the Defender most certainly does not have is what we find right here, and that's going to be the area where you can actually sanitize small items such as cell phones, watches, even the GoPro I'm filming this video with, I guess could be one of those things. And the size and overall operation of the lid on the center console and the center console size itself is different, but here's something that the Defender doesn't do. In fact, I don't know that I've seen that on any other vehicles. Okay, out here on the road with the Santa Fe SEL, and even though this model is front-wheel drive, it definitely is going to do a good job of getting the job done. Now, if you live in an area where you get a lot of snow and ice, I would definitely go all-wheel drive. Nice to know that those options are there, but front-wheel drive, for those of us living in climates like Northwest Louisiana typically has, I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. And one thing I definitely have to say I like here is with this 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder under the hood, when you need to get up and go, that's exactly what it does. In fact, it was a little surprising to me the first time I drove one, which was a different trim level, but I drove it and was surprised that it got up and went as well as it did. So when you need the power, it is there. And the ride quality, that seems to be pretty good. It may not be a Cadillac, but I tell you what, it's not a tank either. So for a long road trip, I think it would be a great vehicle. It is interesting that there's so much space within the interior here. I don't feel cramped by any means. In fact, I could actually raise the seat up quite a bit. I know we don't have our normal view where you can see where I'm sitting and all that kind of stuff. This is one of the things about not having a sunroof, is that it does limit where I can place the camera for the test drive. But trust me, I have tons of headspace. I don't feel cramped in any way, shape, or form here. And just an overall comfortable interior, not only as far as just space, but just driving down the road for a long period of time. You're not going to be worn out. The seats seem to be comfortable to me, although I am sitting here for a very short period of time compared to what it could be on a longer road trip if I was going to do that, but unfortunately don't have that option today. And technology here, easy to use. That's one thing I can say about this particular vehicle. Hyundais are typically that way, so that's a good thing. You don't get that with every vehicle on the road, but if you're somebody who's coming from a vehicle that maybe doesn't have all of the technology and everything that's here as far as the Santa Fe goes, and you're saying, yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, I'm really afraid of having to learn all of that technology, I probably won't use much of it, you'll find that it's very easy to learn and use, and I really think you'll find yourself using a lot more of it than you thought you would. And obviously, easy to see out of. That is one thing that is a big benefit here that I really like, is the fact that it's so easy to see out of with these nice large windows. You definitely don't have any trouble where that is concerned. So a very well-rounded vehicle in a multitude of ways. Depending on your situation, obviously you can go to a higher trim level, but in this case, I think maybe the best bang for the buck. I don't know. We'll have to see what everybody says down in the comments section. Obviously less expensive than the higher limited, or obviously the calligraphy, which I'm not sure how soon I'm going to have a chance to get my hands on a calligraphy, but we'll see about that. But you do get a lot here for the price. So tell me what you think about the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL. Is it worth your consideration? Curious to know what you think. Maybe there's a different trim level you're interested in, and I promise I will bring you all the details on each trim level as they become available from Mike Morgan Hyundai. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at the dealership for loaning me this Santa Fe for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. If you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.